What is up, my loves? It's your girl, Matthews here. Welcome back to Halloween Hysteria. This is our October tarot reading series where for every week in October, we are doing pick a card readings around one central theme. This week's theme is Twilight. And for our second video of the week, we are doing a pick a card reading on why you're the Bella to his Edward. Okay, so kind of why he's so obsessed with you, why you're his soulmate. You understand the vibe. You understand. So we're going to tap in. There's 3 pictures on the screen. Choose the picture or pictures that stand out the most to you. The timestamps are already in the description box down below, and I'll see you at your reading. Hello, my gorgeous pilot number 1. Welcome into your reading where we're tapping into the energy of you and your lover, whether you have someone in mind or you're manifesting new love. How are you the Bella to his Edward? Okay. Mind you, this is Halloween Hysteria. It's our month-long series, so if you want Halloween readings, you should come back for this, right? Okay. All right. We got some good cards out here. We have the Lovers, the Hermit card, Strength, and the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, this is so good. So the way that you are the Bella to his Edward is this is very much giving me like the very first Twilight movie. You don't have to have seen the first one. I'm gonna explain, don't worry. In the first movie, Edward is probably the most yearnsome out of all of the movies in the series. Basically, in the first movie, Edward feels this calling, this desire for Bella to be near her, to devour her, and it's so intense that he literally pushes her away. Remember in the beginning of the first movie, Bella walks into class. She's walking by a fan, and the fan blows her stench, her human pheromone, blood coursing through her vein smell into the direction of Edward, and he's looking at her with this intensity, which reads as disgust. And he covers his nose, he covers his mouth, his eyes become very dark, which basically in the Twilight world only happens when a vampire is like really, really hungry, okay? So he's seeing her, he's smelling her, he's like, I need that. And this is very out of character. It's very out of character for Edward because, Edward was the lone wolf, and also Edward is a vegetarian, and by vegetarian, I mean he only eats animals, and Edward is also 117 years old. So he's not really new to being a vampire. And he's not really new to dealing with temptation and desire and things like this. But there's something very different about Bella. And I can't remember the name of what it's called in the series. But basically, it's like some vampires have a specific person that is like so scrumdiddlyumptious smelling to them. They just have to eat them, whatever. So Edward is wanting Bella so badly, more than he wants anyone else. And what does he do? He literally runs in the opposite direction because, he can't gobble me, swallow me. This girl in the middle of biology, right? That wouldn't be nice. So So he's like really standoffish towards her, and he's like really fucking weird. And they're like having to work on this project together. They're like lab partners. He is like scooting the shit over, like with his fucking knuckles, as if he doesn't want to touch her. Like, oh my goodness. And literally in the movie, there's a scene where she's sitting next to him and he's acting like she smells like shit. And she literally like is like smelling like her hair and like everything. She's like, oh my God, like what the hell is going on? So you guys definitely could have had an experience at the beginning of knowing this person or something within your dynamic where you're just like, the way that this person responded to you, or the way that this person treated you, or the way that this person behaved made you go like, am I like, is there something wrong? Like, do I smell bad, or do I look bad, or am I not as pretty as I thought that I was? Like, I don't really understand what's going on and why you're acting like this. And so when we're continuing to watch the Twilight movie, we see after Edward gets out of that class, he then goes to like the administration of their school and is trying to like switch classes because he's like, I have to get away from her. And the reason why he's saying I have to get away from her is because I want her so deeply I cannot control myself. And then he like can't switch the class, and then he's like gone for several days, and then he comes back around, and this time he is able to have a basic conversation with her, and his eyes have changed color after several days, which is indicative of him going and, having like animals and all of that stuff, right? So in the beginning of their connection, Edward and Bella, Edward is like really standoffish and all of this shit towards Bella. Bella starts having like dreams and shit of Edward. She wakes up in the middle of the night and she sees him standing in her room. He broke and entered into her home, but she doesn't know that he's a vampire yet. So he broke and entered. Okay, mind you, her father's the sheriff. He really needed that bad. He broke into her home and is watching her sleep, and she wakes up and she sees him standing in a dark corner of her bedroom. And then he like runs away. He gets the fuck ASAP. And she's like, that was the first night that I dreamed of Edward Cullen. Mind you, it wasn't a dream. He was really there. He really broke into her home to watch her sleep. And that's the dynamic that I see happening between you two. And of course, I don't mean that he actually broke into your home. He probably just like stalks you on social media really bad. Okay. This is the energy of the kind of person who like I'm not saying this is exactly an example of this. Okay, honestly, I'm gonna tell you what I see. This is kind of like a guy who you like went out with once or something, and then he like ghosted you, but then he's always the first person to see your Instagram story. It's like some kind of energy like that, where this guy's behavior and how he actually feels does not align with the way that he behaves. And then there's literally this moment because in the movie, Edward is like gone for like several days. Then he comes back. Then he's all like talking with Bella. And then he's like, I don't think that it's a good idea for you and I to be friends together, be friends with one another. And then after he like says that and he says he doesn't want her to sit with them on the school bus, then he like starts asking her a million and one different questions, and he's like eavesdropping on her conversation with another guy. Another guy asks Bella out to the prom, and then Bella says, oh, she can't because she's doing something. And then Edward is like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Where are you traveling to? And Bella's like, why the hell are you all up in my fucking Kool-Aid? You just told me we shouldn't be friends or something. I don't know if I'm remembering exactly how that happened, but basically he's like going back and forth. He's all over the motherfucking place. And so at some point she's like in the cafeteria, which is the place where they eat lunch, and then Edward comes up to her. She like drops this apple. He basically catches the apple and like hands it back to her, and he's like being all nice to her. And then she's like, okay, your mood swings are kind of giving me fucking whiplash. So this person, you could feel like he literally has like just kind of like this hot and cold behavior where 1 second he's moving forward, 1 second he's wanting to connect, the other second he's like pulling back, going into himself. That's what I see. And with the energy of the Six of Pentacles, it reminds me of how in the movie we're gonna get to like a good part. Okay, it's kind of sounding a little bit shitty right now, but we're gonna get to a good part because it's kind of like psychological, right? We have the lion here, and then one of the most famous lines from the Twilight movie is, so the lion fell in love with the lamb. And then Bella says, what a stupid lamb. And then Edward says, and what a masochistic, does he say masochistic lion? Yeah, he says, and what a masochistic lion. So basically the idea and concept is him feeling like this is not a relationship or something. And I'm going to explain this more because it's not like I'm getting like, I mean, it could be something that's like taboo or something like that, but that's not what I'm getting. I'm not getting that there's anything inappropriate happening here. I'm just getting that you're dealing with somebody who is like up in their head a lot. Edward as a character was kind of just this like moody, depresso, kind of like teenage boy. I think Edward from Twilight is a Scorpio. You know what I mean? And that's not to be shady or bad or anything like that, but it's just kind of like that energy of like, oh, I'm so sad. Another terrible day in this world where life isn't worth living. Like, this is kind of, I'm not saying that this is the energy that I'm getting from your person. What I'm saying is that Edward was staying away from Bella because if Edward could not control himself, then he would eat Bella, and then that would be terrible, period. Your person is having this strong desire to be with you and to be around you, and is holding himself back because there's that parallel experience where he feels like being in a relationship with you is something that is potentially dangerous. And potentially dangerous doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, he's going to get fired from his job or anything like that. It's just like, it feels more like emotionally dangerous. Being vulnerable, opening your heart up to someone, right? What's the song? Mutt by whoever that guy's name is. I'm sorry. And he says, you know, she said, take your time. What's the rush? Baby, I said, baby, I'm a dog. I'm a mutt. And in the song, he says, I'll be vulnerable so you can break my heart if you want to, which is really interesting because, of course, you're listening to the song and it's like, well, nobody wants their heart to be broken, but that's kind of the rule when it comes to vulnerability and being in relationships. You run the risk of getting hurt. And so in this song, Mutt, he's saying, I'm running the risk of getting hurt, but it's worth it because I literally need that. I got that dog in me. You know what I mean? That's what he's saying in the song. So that's not really your person's energy. That's the energy that your person is moving into and moving towards. We have this strength card and the Six of Pentacles, which reminds me of like when Edward finally does come around to like being with Bella. The reason that Edward and Bella actually like get together in the first movie is because Bella is in danger. Like she's in danger. So Edward is stalking her in the way that he always sometimes does, and Bella is walking in like this like dark parking lot, whatever, alleyway parking lot thing. And these men, this group of men start harassing her, and then Edward comes around with his like Volvo, and it's like this like huge thing, right? So once that happens, then they like go out to eat afterwards and like all this stuff, right? And Edward basically tells Bella, like, I don't have the strength to stay away from you. So I know it's taken us like 500 minutes to get here, but this is the energy of your reading where it's like this person has taken and used a considerable amount of their own personal strength to like avoid this connection and this relationship and intimacy with you, and something happens. There's this like breaking point, there's a tipping point. I don't know what happened. Tell me in the comments section because I'm nosy. Something happens in the connection and there's a switch, and then the two of you guys are together, and they just keep showing me like something bad, something wrong. This person is like contemplating a lot. This person thinks a lot. How are you the Bella to his Edward? This person thinks about you all the time. They think about your relationships. They think about like the implication of your relationship. Like There were some people in Edward's family who thought that it was a great idea. Edward finally found love. And then there were other people like Rosalie who did not support the relationship because it could negatively impact the entire family. If Edward wants to eat Bella so badly and, he has an oopsie moment and he does, then, that's bad for the entire family. And so it's just like there's this danger connected to being in a relationship with you. There's a danger of vulnerability, and this person really struggles with that. They really struggle with the vulnerability of being in love and giving their heart to someone else. And then there's this huge conflict because this person is in love with you. There's a really big internal conflict. We have 3 major arcana cards. There's only 4 cards out. We have the Lovers, the Hermit, Strength, and the Six of Pentacles. You are a major person in their life. Think about the Twilight lore. In the Twilight universe, when you are a vampire and you're turned, you remain the same, like mentally, as whatever age you were turned. So, like, excuse me, I have to yawn. So, like, with the immortal children, they are turned at like 2 years old. And so they have vampire power and vampire thirst, and they have the tantrums of a 2-year-old, and they don't grow out of that. They don't, they can't be raised, they can't be nurtured, they are frozen in that time. So with all vampires, that's the gist. You stay the same mentally, the same mindset as when you were turned, unless something really huge happens, unless there's a really big change or something that goes on in your world. And so, from my understanding, that's one of the reasons why Esme, who is Edward's like vampire mom, basically, Esme is very happy for Edward and Bella, and Esme really wants Edward to find someone and to find love because he's all depresso, alone. He's the only one in the family who doesn't have someone, blah, 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 right? And this is kind of just like what every man and their relationship with their mother, where, their mom is like, I want you to get married and I want to have grandbabies. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if your person, pile number 1, had that kind of relationship dynamic with his mother, where he's going to visit his mother or talking with his mother on the phone or seeing his mother for the holidays, and his mom and his family are like, you seeing anyone? Have any girlfriends? Have any, marriage, fiance, kids? I'm not getting any younger. I want to be a grandma. You know what I mean? It's that kind of energy. So Edward is 17, frozen in time, and then he meets Bella, and this love, this soulmate relationship and connection, it powerfully moves him. It transforms him. It helps him grow as a human being. It's a very significant relationship. Think about the way that Edward treats Bella, not in the beginning, but once Bella is actually in danger and all this stuff. And Edward is telling her, Edward is like, yes, I was stalking you. I was following you and your friends around. And that's just because I wanted to make sure that you weren't in danger. And I just wanted to make sure that you were okay because I feel very protective over you. You are the Bella to this person's Edward because you are creating this drastic change in his life by existing. Bella didn't go into his life and say, Bella didn't show up to the school and say, hey, any 117-year-old vampires here looking for a girl with delicious vanilla scented blood? I'm vanilla tasting blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, that wasn't it. She was literally just existing, and he was just attracted to her and obsessed with her, and he like couldn't read her mind in the way that he could read everybody else's mind. And it's like he's having this contrast where he's wanting to be with her and wanting to connect with her and feeling so protective over her and feeling this intense amount of love towards her. And that creates a change within him, a change where now he's like, well, we can get into romance. Now he's like, we can get into marriage. Now he's like, I can see, right? When Bella and Edward are having their moments, Edward tells Bella, like, you are my reason for living. And we don't have to get into like the codependency of it all. It doesn't have to be that dramatic and intense. However, you are a really important person in this man's life. Like, you're a really important person in this man's life story. This is a really significant relationship. The way that he feels about you, the things that he feels towards you, the way that he wants to connect with you and commit to you and be in a relationship with you, be in a long-term relationship with you. These are feelings that he has not felt before, or these are feelings that he has not felt in a very long time. Okay? Your Edward could have been in a place where he was frozen in time in a certain like way of being, you know what I mean? Like, in every sense of the word, he was operating in one way in relationships, and then he meets you and things just change because he has this desire and this calling towards you, and it's like he can't look away. He feels like a compulsion towards watching your Instagram story, or, seeing you, or looking over to see if you're there in your cubicle. I don't know how you know this guy, okay? But he just feels like the strong desire to connect with you and to be with you. And it makes him feel very vulnerable. And that's how you are the Edward to his Bella. You literally are changing him and making him grow up, right? Edward went from being this loner kid who, like, sure, he has like his family, but everybody's coupled up except for him. And then he meets Bella, and he's like smiling and like happy and shit. And then he ends up having a baby. And it's like his family grows and expands, and his like environment and his social circle kind of grows and expands because his friends become Bella's friends, end up going to his wedding, and now he's having a party and inviting the teenagers over to his house because those are Bella's friends. You know what I mean? And it's like, even with the werewolves and the native people there, the native people and the vampires end up forming more of a connection and a bond, and it's because of Bella. It's as a consequence of Bella being in Edward's life and the shit that goes on, right, because of that connection. So basically, you are a major part of this man's life. Like, there's major change that's happening within him, major growth, major evolution, like soul level growth and evolution. And yeah, it's just because you're existing. So he definitely feels like you are his soulmate, okay? The song that's playing in my head is Soulmate by Mac Miller. So go listen to it. I'm pretty sure you'll resonate with that. Comment down below soulmate if this resonates with you. And you guys, do not forget about my newest workshop that I just created. I created it in alignment with this week's theme. The Fall Night In workshop bundle is an immersive experience made to help you attract this cozy, cuddly, lovey, and committed experience. When you get into the workshop, it's basically me asking you questions, and you're going to answer each question. I have set the timers myself, and you're basically scripting and tapping into the energy of your ideal fall night in with your person. And as you script, you shift energy and you magnetize this experience and this commitment into your life. It's centered around a cozy fall night in, but because I'm excellent at what I do, it's not just about the fall night in. It's about developing and attracting in that relationship with that man who you trust, that makes you feel safe. And that's what you're really tapping into, okay? So I highly recommend you check out this workshop bundle. Inside, you're getting the workshop, you're getting a meditation, which is such a powerful inner child healing meditation. I just did the meditation last night before I recorded this video, well, earlier before I recorded this video, and it literally, my 14-year-old self was the version of me that came through for the workshop, and it was just so incredibly powerful. So the meditation is great. There's a visualization that's wonderful, and the workshop in and of itself is a scripting exercise where you're tapping into that energy of being in that committed relationship. It's super powerful. It's super great. And right now you can get it for only $13.33. I love you lots. It's linked in the description box. So grab your copy now, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome back to Halloween HyStERiA, the tarot reading series to die for, where every day for the month of October, we're doing a new spooky reading. Each week has a central theme. This week, the theme is Twilight. In today's video, we're tapping into your soulmate relationship, whether you have someone in mind or you're manifesting a new love. And how will you be the Bella to his Edward? So let's tap in. Everybody who chose pile number 2, how are they? The Bella. We have the Hanged Man, which is so funny. It's a bat. We have the Strength card, another lion. We got the Strength card in pile number 1, 2. We got the 7 of Cups and the 10 of Cups. How are you? The Bella to his Edward. We have the Emperor. And we have the Fool. This is very interesting. I'm going to have to just talk and we'll see what comes out. This is really interesting because it's kind of similar to what we talked about In pile number 1, the Hanged Man is a pause. It is a sacred pause that helps us to see things differently. It's a moment in a period of stagnation. The Strength card is strength. It also is like infinite soulmate bonds when we have that infinity symbol. And there's the rose there, which is very romantic. And then we have the Seven of Cups, which is typically about dreams, sometimes illusions, but usually I see the Seven of Cups as like options. And these cards are like a day and night thing. The sun is at the bottom, the moon is at the top. Then we have the Ten of Cups, which is a card of harmony. Then we have the Emperor. Then we have the Fool. Then we have Nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. How you're the Bella to his Edward, I'm getting the Breaking Dawn part 2. So the very last Twilight movie. Basically, long story short, in Breaking Dawn part 1, Bella and Edward get married. Bella is still a human being. They do it. Bella gets pregnant. And Edward doesn't want anything to do with the baby. Edward thinks that the baby is going to end Bella. Edward is very upset about the baby. Edward is very disgusted about the baby. Edward doesn't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is. In Breaking Dawn Part 2, or towards the end of Breaking Dawn Part 1, Edward touches the baby's... Edward touches Bella's stomach, and the baby communicates with Edward. And then Edward falls in love with the baby and is like, oh my God, Bella, I'm so sorry. I thought it was evil. I thought it was an evil vampire baby, but it's not. It's good. It's pure. It's like you. And then Edward is all like, basically a dad, right? And he's like, hashtag girl dad, loving it there. So I feel like this man feels very like paternal around you. And I don't mean that he feels paternal towards you, where like he's like your father, right? But he feels very paternal, like the desire to have a family and the desire to raise a family, the desire to have children, the desire to be married. This is someone, you are the Bella to his Edward, because this is someone who wants a very traditional relationship, okay? Remember, if you watch the movies, right now they're free on YouTube, at least in America. I don't know if it's all over. But when you watch the movies, you'll learn that Edward is like kind of a religious freak. Mind you, the story is written by a Mormon woman, so of course he is. Edward is kind of like a religious freak where he's really upset because he feels like he's been damned to hell because he's a vampire and he can never go to heaven or whatever. So, Edward, like, doesn't want to, I think Edward doesn't believe in XCS before marriage, right? He's very reserved. He's very religious in that way, whatever. So Edward proposes to Bella. He proposes to her like a million times. And Bella is like, I don't know about marriage, but you could change me into a vampire forever. And he's like, marry me, and I'll change you, or whatever. So Edward is very serious about marrying Bella and having a wedding. And Edward doesn't really want to change Bella into a vampire either, because he doesn't want to damn Bella's soul to hell, basically. So that's the energy that I get here, where this guy doesn't want you to go to hell. I'm just kidding. I get the energy and the vibe here of a guy who's kind of like traditional. And I'm hearing the phrase like straight edge. And I don't mean that he has to be straight edge, like, oh, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do this, he doesn't, do like drugs or whatever. And that could definitely be the case. But I feel like in your relationship dynamic, this guy is he is kind of traditional. This is a guy who has traditional thoughts and like traditional values. This is the kind of guy who feels like a man should work. I'm not getting that he thinks that women should stay home. I'm not getting that traditional. I'm just getting this is the kind of guy who believes that men should play a very particular role, and that role involves protecting, providing. Okay, that's his energy. He gives very much protecting and providing energy. How you're the Bella to his Edward is that he feels very committed to you. Like, throughout the series, there's 1,000,001 different times when Bella is in danger, right? But when Bella is in danger in the first movie, excuse me, it's late. When Bella is in danger in the first movie and they have to like track down James, who's like the vampire trying to go after her, Bella is talking Edward is talking to Bella, and Edward is just like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make you safe again. And I'm so sorry, Bella, right? And it's like so intense. And I feel like that's the kind of energy that this man has towards you, where it's like, this is someone who really cares deeply about like your safety and your security and your well-being. Like, in the series, when they get married, they go off for their honeymoon, and one day Bella wakes up after they've done it, consecrated the marriage. Is that the right word? Is that the right word? It doesn't matter. So after they've done it, Bella wakes up one day and she's going to have like some chicken to eat or something. And then she's like trying to eat the chicken and she gets sick. The chicken, like, I don't know, triggers her morning sickness, whatever. So she runs to the toilet and she's like, being sick. And Edward comes in and is like, hey, like, what's wrong? And Bella's like, no, don't look at me. This is so unsexy. I am sick. And Edward is like, you're being ridiculous, Loca. We just got married, in sickness and in health was literally part of the vows. What's wrong? Why are you sick? Are you okay? What's going on? And then Bella ends up like finding her she like has like these like tampons or something, and then she's like, wait a second, what day is this? How long have we been on this vacation? I was supposed to get my period is late. And then they start putting two and two together. Bella's like looking at her stomach. She's like, am I pregnant? Is this possible? And Edward is like, oh, hell no. And so he's like really upset. He like calls Carlisle or whatever. We don't have to focus on that. The point is that basically they have to leave their honeymoon early and they have to get back home so that Carlisle can examine Bella and see what the hell is growing in her stomach. So when they realize that they're going to have to pack up and they're going to have to leave, Edward starts, packing everything up. And Edward is a vampire, so he has like super strength and super speed and all this stuff, but we don't see that often throughout the movies because he's always with Bella or around other humans and he's like slowing down and different things like that. But in this moment, he's like moving so quickly. He's getting all of their shit packed up, getting the suitcases zipped up. It's time to go. We need to be out of here because you need to see a doctor because I think that the devil is inside of your uterus, Rosemary's Baby, right? So it's that kind of energy where not the Rosemary's Baby energy. It's that kind of energy where like this person feels very responsible for you and is very invested, emotionally invested in your well-being and your safety and your security. This is the kind of person who always wants to basically make sure that you're good, make sure that you're safe, make sure that you're being taken care of, make sure that you've eaten and different things like that. And this is someone who definitely wants a family. This is someone who definitely wants to be a dad. This is somebody who, cares a lot about his family and who wants to make you his family, because that's kind of what Edward does with Bella, right? When they first start dating, he like within a couple of times of them like going out or hanging out or whatever, he like turns to her and is like, I'm gonna take you to meet my family. And Bella's like, what if they hate me? And he's like, you're gonna go to a house full of vampires and you're worried about whether or not they'll like you? And she's like, yeah. And I feel like that's the energy too. Like, this is someone who is very family oriented. So for some of you, this guy already has kids, or if he doesn't already have children, he just has family, like siblings, parents, cousins, very close friends. Like, he has people in his life who mean a lot to him. And I've said this before in another reading. This is the kind of person who wants you to get in good, like with his family. He's going to bring you in and have you be a part of his family. That's very important to him. it's very important to him that you fit in with his family. And not saying that you have to change yourself, or I'm not inferring anything negative here at all, but that's just like his desire. And I mean, think about in Twilight when Edward and Bella get married, Esme, who would be Bella's mother in law, I'm pretty sure it's Esme, yeah, she's giving a toast and she basically says to Bella's parents, like, we promise that we will take care of and we will look after Bella for all of eternity. And, it's really a powerful thing to say because Bella's parents are going to pass away one day. And, these vampires are immortal, so they'll be around and they'll be family for hundreds of years. And so Bella does have a really successful integration into Edward's family and Edward's clan. And I feel like that's how this person feels about you, where either this is something that he really wants to happen, or this is something that he already sees and something that he really appreciates. He likes seeing you being a part of his family and a part of his like environment, a part of his community. He likes seeing you fit in that way. He likes seeing you have relationships with the people that he loves and is, very close to, right? Bella, one of her closest friends in the series, ends up being Alice, and Alice is Edward's, sister for all intents and purposes. So it's that kind of energy. Like, if this man has a sister, you guys could end up being really close. That's important to him. It's important to him that, or not just that it's important to him, but he loves this. He loves seeing and feeling the harmony between you and his family and the people that he loves the most and his community. How are you the Bella to his Edward? There's one more thing I want to say, and it's about this hanged man. Bats are blind, but they have really, really great hearing. I feel like this man has a really strong, like, intuition when it comes to you in particular. Like, he knows. He pays a lot of attention to you. And, like, he just knows when you're not okay. Because there's something, they just keep showing me all the times in the movie, like, damn, Bella was getting her ass kicked. There's so many scenes of this girl getting cut up and roughed up and thrown all over the place, here and there in the hospital. Damn. Every single time something happens to Bella, she's fragile. She's a human. And these people are not human, right? They're vampires. And their bodies are basically, their bodies feel like they're made out of marble. So they're kind of like indestructible in a way. And Bella is not. And I feel like you are this person's Bella in a way, because he sees you as like this sensitive, adorable creature who is fragile. And it's not like fragile in a bad way or fragile in a dangerous way. He just sees you as fragile. And so you'll notice with the way that he treats you and the things that he says, and yeah, just the shit that he does, it's very much that, like, he's looking at you from this lens of you being sensitive. Okay, you could really be very sensitive emotionally and things like that. And he really wants there to be harmony in the relationship between the two of you. Okay? So that's what I got for you, pile number 2. Did you like this reading? Did this resonate with you? Tell me in the comment section down below. Give me like a lion emoji or something if this resonates with you, if you're claiming this. And don't forget to check out my most recent workshop bundle. I made it specifically for this week's series. We're tapping into that cozy fall energy. So the cozy fall night inside workshop is basically a scripting exercise where I'm giving you journal prompts, and as you're answering each of the prompts, you're tapping into the energy of cuddling up with your guy, with your soulmate, and also being in a relationship with the man who is reliable and trustworthy and safe and all of those good things. And of course, as you continue to tap into the energy, it manifests in your physical reality. It has to, because your physical reality is responding to you. So inside of the bundle, you're getting a meditation, and you're getting a visualization, and you're getting the scripting exercise. It's a really, really great offering. It's only $13.33. So check out the bundle and grab your copy by clicking the link in the description box down below. I love you lots, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Hello, my love. Welcome to your reading. This is day number 2 of Halloween HyStERiA. This is my October series. Each week we are focusing on a Halloween theme. This week we're focusing on Twilight, and in today's video we're tapping into your next experience in romance and how you're going to be the Bella to his Edward. So whether you have someone in mind or you're manifesting new love completely, the message should resonate the same. Tapping into the energy of everyone who chose pile number 3. Please like and share and subscribe. How is pile number 3, the Bella? We have the Hierophant, we have the Lovers. How is she the Bella to his Edward? We have the 2 of Wands, the 6 of Swords, and the Hermit. Okay, this is like pile number 1, part 2. So Hierophant, Lovers, 2 of Wands, 6 of Swords, and the Hermit card. How you're the Bella to his Edward. Ignore what I said about it being a part 2 to pile number 1. Maybe you watched pile number 1, maybe you didn't. It doesn't matter. Give me a second. Bella to his Edward. The Hierophant being deep commitment. The Lovers being soulmate relationship. I want to say that you're the Bella to his Edward because they're saying like you guys are soulmates, you guys were made to be together, and now they're not just talking about in the books, but like in terms of the intention. Like, what's the author's name? Stephanie Myers? Like Michael Myers? Does she have the same last name as the serial killer? I'm sorry, I don't know why that's funny. The author of the series Twilight, she created the series with the intention Edward and Bella are going to fall in love with each other, right? This is their love story. And pile number 3, I feel like this is your love story. Like God, angels, universe, you on a soul level, God as the creator of all things, set the intention. Pile number 3 and this person, this man, are going to meet. They're going to fall in love with each other. They're going to be soulmates. They're going to be together. This is the kind of relationship that feels very faded. Okay, we don't have the Wheel of Fortune out. Maybe we'll pull more cards, but that's the energy that it gives. We could kind of see that with like the Lover's card. It just gives like fate, and it gives destiny, and it gives like you were made to find one another in this lifetime. You were made to be with one another. There is no, it's like, there is no storyline. There is no timeline where you and this person don't end up together. You know what I mean? Take what resonates, take with a grain of salt, whatever. But that's what I'm getting. That's what I feel. I feel like you are the Bella to his Edward because you are his soulmate. And the two of you are going to end up in a relationship with each other. And with the Hermit card, I feel like both of you know this. So pile number 3 is not for someone who's like, I don't know, maybe I want him, maybe I don't want him. This is not your pile. Pile number 3 is not for the person who's on the fence, for the person who maybe, I don't know, like it's not for you. You will know if you have a feeling and a knowing. It's deeper than just a desire. Sometimes we're like, I want this to be my person. I want things to work out with this person. But it's deeper than that. There's a knowing. I've never put it into words, but when I have a knowing about something, it's like, it's kind of like there's layers to my being. And sometimes in my mind, which is like a top layer, I might feel anxious about something. I might feel worried about something. But underneath it, in a deeper layer, deeper in my being, like in my heart or in my gut, or it feels more like in my back, like deep inside of me, there's a knowing that it's going to be okay. There's a knowing that it's going to work out for me. There's a knowing that I'm going to get what I want. There's a knowing that I'm going to get what I need. It's like there's a knowing. You have a knowing. And this person has a knowing. And it's possible that this is a knowing that hasn't been spoken out loud, because the Hermit isn't necessarily a talkative sign. It's an introspective card. He's an introspective character. So it's like inside of you, there is a very clear knowing that this is your person. Like you could literally have you're psychic, this person is psychic, you guys could have claircognizance. I think that's what it is. Or you could have seen a vision of this person or something like that. But it's like you have gotten an intuitive nudge and an intuitive knowing that says, this is your person. This is who you will end up with. And it's like, even if the two of you had time or moments apart, even if you've had moments in this connection where you're not with this person, you don't want to be with this person, there's still that knowing. It's like this persistent thing. So they're showing me the second movie. In the second Twilight movie, basically Edward and his family are like, we're leaving Forks. Bella, you're in danger. We can't be together. It's going to be like I never existed. Bella's like, no, I'm going to go with you. Wherever you're going, I want to go. Edward is like, no, you can't. I'm leaving. And Bella's like, wait, you are just going with your family? And Edward is like, yes, it's just me and my family. Like, you have to stay here. And Bella's like, wait, you don't want me to go? And Edward is like, no, I don't want you to go. And she's like, oh, that changes things. You don't want me. And he's like, no, I don't want you. And then it's like this like whole thing. And then she like falls into a depression. I'm not saying that you guys are doing that or that you have done that or that it would be healthy for you to do that, right? I'm not saying that we should aspire to have an experience where we feel like we cannot function as adults without being in a relationship with someone. That's not what I'm saying. However, there's like this whole moment, Romeo and Juliet parallel, where in the series, Bella is like really depressed. She's really sad. She's wanting Edward to come back, and something happens. Basically, they think that Bella has passed away. And so, because Edward is under the impression that Bella has passed away, he is going to basically euthanize himself, right? And so then they have to go and like stop Edward, and Bella's like, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm okay, whatever. And then when they're like done with all of the drama and they're finally back together and they're finally reunited, Bella basically, they're talking and it's basically like, well, I thought that you didn't want to be with me. I thought that you didn't give a shit about me. And Edward is like, well, I lied. I lied when I told you that I didn't want you. And it was absolutely ridiculous because you believed me so easily. And so that's kind of the energy and the vibe that I get here, where it's like two people that love each other and two people that know that they are meant to be together, whether those two people are together or apart. There is a knowing. And this reading isn't going to be for everybody. This pile isn't going to be for everybody. And I'm never telling you to stay in a cycle that's not helping you or supporting you or that's causing you pain or whatever. But that's just the energy that I get. That's just what I feel. How are you the Bella to his Edward? This is your person, and your love was made to persevere. And when I say your love was made to persevere, like Stephanie always set the intention that Bella and Edward were going to end up together. So every single movie, there's some chaos, there's some conflict, there's something that's stopping the two of them from being together, right? In the first movie, in the beginning, it's Edward who's like pushing Bella away. And then in the second movie, it's Edward again, who is pushing Bella away and basically saying, I'm putting you in danger and I have to go away. And then in the third movie, what happens in the third movie? Hold on, let me remember really quick. In the second movie, they're still hunting them down. Do they fight the army in the second movie or the third movie? No, in the second movie, in the second movie, they take that time apart. Jacob comes back around into the picture. Bella has to stop Edward from being euthanized. And then in the third movie, there's this whole army showdown thing. And what was I saying at the beginning of that? I'm sorry, y'all. It's late, okay? It's late. I'm tired. You're just gonna have to bear with me while I get my mind together. What the hell was I just saying? Edward, Bella. Edward was doing something. That's gonna bug me. Fuck it. Let's move on. So, anyway. Anywho, what were we talking about? How are you the Bella to Miss Edward? I feel like the two of you are together. You were born together. Oh, yeah. There's a whole bunch of things that's going on throughout the series. Every single movie, it's another motherfucking thing that's stopping these people from being together. Except that's like the first movie, and then the second movie, and then the third movie, Jacob is kind of coming in the way between them, stopping them from possibly stopping them from being together. It's like this conversation. Will they be together? Will she choose Jacob? Blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, they get married. They have a baby together. And then Bella has her whole, Jake, don't make me choose between you and Edward because it's always going to be him, right? So it's like, there's this whole moment, there's like all this drama and like all of this like upheaval and shit. But at the end of the motherfucking day, when the credits roll, we know exactly what the hell is going to happen. We know who's going to end up together. We know that it's Bella and it's Edward. Period, point blank. And that's your relationship dynamic. It's pile number 3 and her soulmate. At the end of the fucking day, it's pile number 3 and her soulmate. It's pile number 3 and her person. Doesn't matter. Oh, but this happened. Oh, but this crazy thing happened. Oh, but there was this miscommunication. Oh, but, this person moved because this, and this person got a different job at this other company, and so they had to relocate and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the fucking day, when the credits roll, we know exactly who the fuck ends up together. At the end of this story, after all of the drama and after all of the bullshit and after all of the craziness, these two people are ending up together. Because it was always the intention of these two people to end up together. It was always the intention of these two people to be in love with each other and to be committed to one another. These two people were always going to make it down the aisle. And we're definitely seeing strong themes of marriage because we have the Hierophant here, which is marriage. And then we have the Lovers, which is soulmate relationships. And when we have the Hierophant followed by the Lovers, I'm getting really big marriage, deep commitment energy. We have the Two of Wands, which is maybe sometimes the wishy-washy energy. Oh, we're triggering these different things within each other. maybe it could be a little breakup to makeup situation going on here, or just we're figuring things out, or we got together, it was the right person but the wrong time. This is one of those situations. This is one of those right person wrong time thing, or you had something like that was going on in this connection. And even though you had that whatever happened, there's still this knowing. There's still this love. There's still this connection, and it's undeniable. And the both of you feel it. When Bella and Edward were apart in the second movie, we don't see a lot about what Edward is going through, but he isolates himself from his family and from everyone. He's not doing good. And Bella also isolates herself from everyone. So even when the two of them are apart, they're kind of doing the same thing. Even though they don't know that, even though Edward isn't checking in on her, even though Bella obviously can't contact Edward and Alice isn't responding back to her emails or getting her emails or whatever. It's like they're still connected. This is like some invisible string theory shit. These are two people who are like existing and moving through life at a parallel to one another, constantly making choices and decisions that mirror one another back to the other. You know what I'm saying? They're mirroring each other with their habits. They're mirroring each other with their behaviors. There's really deep like kindred soul energy here, where it's like these two people are cut from the same cloth. These two people are made to be together. These two people were made for one another. And this is true whether they're together or not. This is true whether they're dating or not. It's like it can't be denied. Okay, we're going to pull a couple more cards and then we're going to get out of here. Anything else for my pile number 3? How was pile number 3? The Bella. We have the Empress. How was pile number 3? The Bella 2. Where Edward? 5 of Pentacles. The Chariot. The Queen of Cups. And the 10 of Wands. With the Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. The Empress, the 5 of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Queen of Cups. What do we see with this energy? The Empress is like the ultimate woman, the woman of my dreams, the person that I have been waiting for. Oh my God, what's that song? What's that song? By Christina whatever. And it was everywhere in the year of 2014. The song is 1,000 Years. I'm finding it. I'm literally looking it up right now. 1,000 Years lyrics. Okay, go listen to the song. It's called A Thousand Years by Christina Perry, and it came out in 2011. That's crazy. Anyway, so that's the energy and the vibe. There's something about this that is so timeless. There's something about, like, have you ever met someone where you just can't explain it, but you feel like you know them, even though they're a stranger, but you just feel like you know them. Like, you just feel like you know who they are. You know why they behave in the way that they behave. You just know them. Like, sometimes when you're connecting with someone and then, like, you do something or something and then they, like, call it out or something. Not like call it out in a bad way, but like, oh, fuck. My brain is not at full capacity. I'm tired. Sometimes you have those moments where you're like, somebody just is telling you, like, oh, I know you. I know you. I knew that you were going to do that because I know you. I knew that you were going to like this thing because I know you. It's like this energy. I just get this energy of knowing, okay? With that Hermit card energy. I feel like this connection is some sort of, like, if you know shit, okay? There are things that you just know that you don't know. How you just know them. You know them about this person. You know them about your future with this person. Even if you walk away from this person, even if you guys break up, even if you guys don't talk for a long period of time, you know that you're going to run into that person again. You know that you're going to reconnect with that person. You know that at some point, you and this person will come back around together. It's reminding me of Gilmore Girls. I think it's Suki. She's a character, and she was talking about, like, this scene that she saw on Oprah. And on the show, it was these people, and they fell in love when they were 20, and then they broke up, and they had families, and then they got back together 50 years later. Both of their spouses had died, and then they got together. And Lorelai is hearing Suki talk about this, and Lorelai is like, this is my nightmare. Like, I do not want to do that. I do not want to wait 40 years to be with you. I want to be with you now, and I want to live the rest of my life with you now. So it's kind of giving me that energy, okay? It's kind of giving me, like, Lorelai and Luke energy, end game energy. Actually, oh my God, this is, yeah. I got too excited. My brain stopped working. Oh my God. Yes, literally. You go and you watch Gilmore Girls, and they have the slowest, Lorelai and Luke, they're in game. They have the slowest slow burn relationship. 1,000,001 stupid things happen. All of a sudden, Luke gets a daughter and then starts acting completely out of character, and so they were, like, engaged, but then they, like, pushed the wedding off and, like, all of this stuff. But at the end of the motherfucking day, it was always going to be Lorelai Gilmore and Luke Danes. It was always going to be them together. They were always going to be together. They dated other people. Luke got married to someone else, like on a cruise ship randomly throughout the fucking series. Turns out Luke has a kid. Lorelai obviously has a kid. Lorelai has Rory. But they end up being together in the end. And that's just what I can see for you guys. I don't know what you've gone through. I'm not getting anything specific. I'm sure it'll be, different things for everyone, but how are you the Bella to his Edward? This person is like your soulmate, and you have this kind of unbreakable bond and this knowing that the two of you are going to come together, and the two of you are supposed to come together. And when I say supposed to come together, I mean, like, on a soul level. You're like, this is what I was born to experience. I don't know, girl. That's all I see. Jesus Christ. That was a lot. I don't know. Just comment down below. Comment down pile 3 if you were pile number 3, because I can't think of an emoji or a color or whatever. Just comment down below pile 3 if you were pile 3, okay? And check out today's workshop. Today's workshop bundle would be really, really good for you, especially pile number 3, because if you're in that experience where you're feeling like, I want this connection, I want this relationship, and it's just not working, or it's not coming to fruition, or there's a million and one like difficulties and things like that, scripting is a great way to shift energy and to shift into the timeline where you have that peace and you have that serenity and you have that connection. Okay, so this new workshop is called The Fall Night Inside, and it's a bundle where you're getting a meditation to do some inner child healing, because when anything, whether it's our relationships or our like money and finances and our job, when we're experiencing a lot of chaos and conflict, there's old wounds that are being triggered, right? We're creating those experiences subconsciously through old wounds. So the meditation inside of this workshop bundle is a powerful inner child integration meditation where it's helping you to clear out and create space. It's a really good meditation. I just did it before I recorded today's reading. It's a really good meditation. It's quick. It's like 10 minutes long. It's really, really good. And so you're getting that meditation, you're getting a visualization, which then is going to help you start tapping into the energy of that desired relationship with your person. And then you're getting a scripting exercise where I am helping you to tap into and build out this experience of having a cozy fall night inside with your love. And of course, as you're answering the journal prompts, what you're really doing is you're tapping into and becoming a vibrational match to a relationship with the man who shows up for you and is reliable and committed and all in. And it's beautiful and it's subtle, but it's powerful. And I highly recommend you getting this journal and adding this to your toolkit, because it's a fabulous resource and it's only $13.33. So click the link in the description box to get a copy of your bundle now. And it's so cute. I designed it and everything myself. Isn't that shit so cute? Okay, I love you guys. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Okay, bye.